Good morning from our garden. It's raining outside and we're hiding in the greenhouse, so we decided to use the time well and film a little tour of the greenhouse. As for many gardeners, a greenhouse has been on my wish list ever since I started gardening, but because previously we were always renting a plot, we didn't want to put a permanent structure on it, but now that we own this plot, we decided it was worth the investment. So we bought the greenhouse and we built it in April. It has an aluminum frame and safety glass, and the dimensions are 377 centimeters by 253, which is about 11.5 feet by, how much was it? 8 feet. We live in a cool climate, and a greenhouse gives us the possibility to grow crops that we would not be able to grow outside, or that do not do as well in our climate outside. I'm also very much looking forward to being able to grow more salads during the winter, but that's another chapter. I want to show you what is growing in the greenhouse right now. It's July. Again, I want to stress this is my first year of having a greenhouse, so I am by no means an expert. And if you have any tips for me, please share. Tomatoes are probably the very favorite crop to grow in a greenhouse, and of course we also want to grow lots of them, but they're quite prone to disease, and I want to be able to practice some crop rotation within the greenhouse, so I decided to use only about 1/3 of the space for plants from the nightshade family. So this third of the greenhouse is planted with tomatoes, eggplant, chilies and peppers. We have 6 plants of 5 different tomato varieties. I have 3 red tomatoes, Marmande, Moneymaker and Slava, which are respectively a French heirloom, an English variety and a Czech variety. And we also have 2 different kinds of cherry tomatoes, black cherry, which is one of my favorite when it comes to taste, and Blondköpfchen, which is a German heirloom. The most productive of all of the tomatoes is probably Blondköpfchen. It forms huge trusses of up to 250 fruits. Just look at the size of this, of small yellow delicious cherry tomatoes. I'm pruning the plants to a single stem, and I'm twisting them around this rope that's hanging from the ceiling. We have 2 varieties of eggplant. This is Black Beauty, and we also have Uki, which is a small compact plant with very small fruits. We have one variety of chili, Westlandse Langerode, and a red pepper that's called Jubilanska. We have 3 varieties of basil. This is Genovese, the basil for making pesto, which is very popular in our household and a favorite food of my son. We have lemonade, which is great for making tea, and we have cinnamon basil, which I also like to brew tea from. Another third of the greenhouse is planted with sweet potatoes. I grew these outside last year and we got a decent harvest, but not really a huge one, and they should do much better in the greenhouse, so that's what I'm hoping for. I grew the plants from tubers from our own harvest, and I'm also hoping that if I keep doing that I'll get plants that are adapted to our climate. Over here there's a cucumber plant that I'm also training vertically, and on the other side is a gherkin. There are lots of fruits. I'll have to harvest these because they're already getting too big, and I started experimenting with fermenting gherkins. Last but not least, I have several melons. One of the plants I'm training vertically, and the rest I just let sprawl over the ground. There are 3 different varieties, but all of them are early fruiting and small fruited. The one over here is called a golden midget. It's a watermelon, small watermelon. It will not get bigger than this, but it will turn yellow. This is Petit Gris de Rhin, a French heirloom and one of the most delicious melons. I have grown melons before in a cold frame, and they did okay, but not. We never got a really big harvest, and they're already doing much better in the greenhouse than ever before in our garden. So we are very excited for our melon harvests. One of the things I was worried about was watering in the greenhouse. I was worried I would have to water it all the time. And of course in summer we also go on a vacation, and I cannot really ask someone to come here every day. But we mulched everything with straw, and it seems to be working really well. Even in very warm periods, I did not water more than once a week, and the plants are doing fine. So this was the first ever tour of our greenhouse. I'll try to do a tour later in the season when the planting changes. I hope you enjoyed it. Give the video a thumbs up if you did. Happy gardening!